Hello, everyone. How are you? So, wow, as I started IGEL 4 years ago, I never believed this could be happen. We're doing our first ever IGEL certification today, and we're sold out. That's so amazing. And I want to thank you, every one of you who's attending this event. I'd like to have you a hand of applause for you. Thank you. So I have the honor to open this technical bootcamp today, and so we have parallel workshops here. So if you're a sales guy and don't want to do the technical certification, you have to go to the Steigenberg Hotel. If you want to learn something about technique, about the coolest team and history, you're absolutely right here. So, yeah, manager pre-sales engineering. As I told you, when I talk to my team, I want to do something special, to motivate them, to disrupt them. And so last year on our kickoff, we made a karaoke contest, and we said, we want to win this, and how could we win this? And we said, okay, if you have a problem, who you gonna call? And yeah, so we made a song, done some rap and some singing, and who you gonna call? Call pre-sales. And that was the past of IGEL. And talking about disrupting the market and talking about changes we're doing to disrupt the market is that in the past, maybe many Germans are here who know IGEL for a longer time. They know we had a support in Augsburg for after-sales customers. We had a pre-sales support in Bremen. It was not clear how to reach if you have a problem. And so now we changed this year, and I'd like to tell you, in our new structure, we have a general support who taking care very quickly. If you have a problem, you can call them. So who you going to call? Support. But I know we have a great team over here. If you have a problem and want to do a POC or implementing new infrastructure with IGEL, we're very happy to help you in this way. And so this isn't really part of the certification of the test we want to do taken later. But I want to give them the possibility to be on stage. So I want to invite the pre-sales team, come over here. So, so great. So that if you need help, that you know how the faces are, and I'd like to introduce them a little bit. So, okay, they're coming here. So at first, we have a leadership team with Fredrik Brattstig taking care of the European part here. We're having Jeff Feige over there, who's taking responsibility for the S market, and also Jeff Kohlberg, who's stayed here till today. What's amazing. Coming over to the German team, we have the regional sales engineers for Northern, South, and the Mid. So it's Dennis Jungbauer, it's Andreas Simon, and this is Frank Conrad. And we have our senior pre-sales engineers, so that's Christian Drieling and Sebastian Perza. And my special thanks goes out to a new role we made. So in the last couple of years, you maybe saw the Tesla campaign, and you had to do a demo for this, and we have there Robin Geide. Maybe some of you know him already because he done most of our webinars, done an awesome job there, and I'd like to thank you, Robin, and say welcome to the pre-sales team in this new role. And we also have Sebastian Kuperla here. So he is taking care of our new demo environment, so we're seeing later what's possible now, how to demo IGEL. So this is pretty amazing, you see later. Fredrik, maybe you want to introduce your team?
Yeah, of course. I would like to start with the UK team. We have Goran Cass, external pre-sales, traveling pre-sales. We have Ian Anderson, same role. We have Jack Higgs, not on stage. Okay, yeah, he's the gatekeeper. And from the Nordic team, we have Mattias Jakobsson, and of course myself. Yeah, that's us.
Okay, so I forgot one. No, I don't forget. So this is Nitin. He came over the whole way from Australia, so say hello to Nitin. And one last thing I like to say here, coming over from some far place like Australia or the US, that's pretty amazing. And yeah, in this whole stress we had yesterday, some of us forgot that we have a birthday child here. And yeah, I told you that last year I did the singing thing, and I talked to Christian yesterday that maybe for my opening I also want to sing and say, that's not good.
No, please
So,
not.
I think we sing all together. So please, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jeff. Happy birthday to you. So, awesome. Thank you, presets team. And you see some of them later in the workshops. So Christian will tell you about the agenda after this short introduction. So thank you, guys. Okay. And see you later.
Jetzt haut bitte ab.
So, in the last days, we heard about, great guys in the IT business, like Steve Jobs, and what they said, and how they changed the market, how they disrupted the market. And I thought, how can I do something, or which phrase do I want to use? And it's funny, I have a ritual every morning. I go to my little boy, he's 6 months old, in the bathroom, and we have a playlist on Spotify, and we sing Disney songs and stuff like this. And this morning, we together sing and dance and hear the Mary Poppins song, A Piece Full of Sugar, something like this. And there's the phrase, in every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. So, as I started IGEL 4 years ago, from the right beginning, that was the thing. I had fun with my job. I love what I'm doing because we have an awesome solution. And the second phrase you find the fun and snap, the job's a game. And just like Mary Poppins, that helped the boys clean up the room in the first way, maybe I would say with our management, we help every IT administrator or our partners to clean up their end-user computing strategy. And I know this. I was an administrator for years. That could be hard, and that's not every time funny, and that's not every time a game, but we make it fun with IGEL. And I don't think Mary Poppins is about cleaning up your room, but they changed the life of the whole family. And this is what I'm saying to my team. I think with IGEL we can disrupt the market. We can change the life of many people to make this easier, to have fun in that job, have fun in what I'm doing. So this is important for me, and some kind of way, I sing the song for a very long time now with my son, 6 months. But this morning, it's funny, I realized what's in this song and how important it is in life to have fun with what you're doing. And so especially the last year was so much fun with the whole team. And I'd like to thank my team again, because you are amazing. And yeah, now enough of blah blah, and we start the whole certification thing. And I'm very honored to introduce our 2 award-winning evangelists of the year, Christian Drieling and Fredrik Brattstig, on stage. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, René. I'm really happy that I got him convinced to not sing. He's a good singer, really, but this is a tech event, so. But I can understand if you are here in the theater and you're on stage, maybe you want to try. Fredrik, you want to?
No, I'm good, thank you.
So, where's my presenter? You have the presenter? May I just grab it?
Of course.
So first, let's take a look to the agenda today. So we started with the opening, and the cool thing is I asked René if he will be in time. He said, yeah, of course I will be in time. He wasn't. Probably this will go on all the day. You know, we have a lot of stuff to tell you, but I think we will take care. So we will now go on with the portfolio, but then we will do a cool thing with our UMS. Thorsten Lüker, our channel pre-sales engineer, will show you how to use the UMS, and then we will go over to a break. There will be some food, drinks. you can have a cigarette, but also it's important, you have the sponsor cards here. And I know some of you arrived today, so you can take this card, go to our sponsors. We have a lot of cool tech sponsors here. Take a look to their solution, and then just try to get a stamp from them. If you have the card full, then you will win a drone. One of you, not everyone, probably. So that's something you should do. Also, if you go for the break, please take a look. There will be Robin Geide outside, and he will have a list. Please make sure that you get checked on the list, because it is for us important to know that you attended the training, because afterwards we will send you a link with the certification, with questions that you have to answer, and then you will get a certificate digitally. We planned it totally different. I thought in the first discussions we talked about 30 to 40 people attend the training, and we thought about doing hands-on, and we thought about doing a test here. Then we saw the numbers going on, and we stopped the registration with 150 people, and so we had to switch everything. So, yeah. Then we will go on here with an IGEL and Citrix session, some details. We will do the drone raffling. Then we will go over to lunch. It's next here to the left side. After lunch, we will go over to the Steigenberger, because there's a show going on here from the GOP theater today, and we have to leave this room. So we will go over to the Steigenberger. It's Weser Terminal 1 and 2. Just go upstairs, first floor, and on the end of the floor, you will find the room. And then we will take a look with Jeff Feige, our US VP pre-sales, to our IGEL Cloud Gateway. Our CEO, Heiko Glogi, wants to say some words to you. And we will have a talk with Doug Brown. We will have an interactive session, so you can ask questions to us and ask questions to Doug and all the stuff. Huh? Perfect. So let's start with the first part. IGEL has a bunch of products today. If we think a few years ago, there were some thin clients. But today, the product portfolio got a little bit more complex, I think. That's why we take 30 minutes to just talk about the products. Mostly Fredrik will guide you through our whole portfolio. But in advance, I want to tell something shortly about our best thing that we have. It's the IGEL Linux. I think probably all of you have an idea what IGEL does. You're on an event from IGEL. You're signed up for the technical bootcamp. But what's the special thing about IGEL? IGEL has an operating system. It's called IGEL OS. It's a Linux-based system. And that's where trouble starts to begin. If I'm sitting together with a customer and tell him, hey, we have a great operating system for your users, and it's a Linux, he's like, oh, no, I have no idea about Linux. I'm a Windows guy. And he gets a little bit afraid about all the Linux things. So what I try to explain them is Linux is not as bad as you think. So one question I want to ask in the audience, who of you today used a Linux device? Can you just raise your hands? Okay. That's around about half of you that thinks you are doing Linux in the morning. I promise you, everybody here sitting in the room probably used a Linux device in the morning. Maybe you switch on your television in the morning. Maybe you grab your phone, take a look to your mails. Maybe you just order some tickets at the vending machines from a railways thing. That's all based on Linux. But nobody's afraid to use a television. Even my kids could switch on the TV and could change the program. So what's behind this? IGEL OS is a special operating system designed for IT. And it's nothing that I would give to my mother and let her play around. It's something that we designed to make your life easier. You can create every workflow you need. You have all the tools you need with a great management system to make it really easy to configure everything, to have it secure, simple, and smart. So that's the point I want to tell you. Don't be afraid about a Linux, because you don't see a Linux, you just have a cool device. So, Fredrik. Oh.
Thank you, Christian. Thanks for that introduction.
Oh.
You shouldn't show the whole map. So, I would like to give you a quick overview about the whole ecosystem of IGEL. So let's start with the endpoint devices, because that's kind of why we're here, right? We want to be able to provide our users a good experience, an easy experience, or maybe an advanced experience, whatever it might be. At least a good experience. We want to make their life easier. That's my target of what I'm doing from my day-to-day business. You should always have the user, the customer, at first position. So if we look at our different offerings of endpoints, we start, of course, with the software. The software is the most powerful part of the IGEL ecosystem. So we have the UDC, Universal Desktop Converter. The current version is version 3. It's based on IGEL Linux. It is IGEL Linux. It's a Ubuntu-based operating system, but IGEL actually tears this whole Ubuntu operating system apart and creates its own kind of release of IGEL OS. The UDC can be installed on, brand new devices. You can buy whatever kind of hardware you want to buy. You might like a specific form factor. You might like the power of the device. You might like whatever it might be. And you want to have the IGEL operating system on this device. So you can buy your own hardware, install the software, and have a fully managed thin client with the exact same features as if you actually bought an IGEL thin client. It's a 64-bit modern operating system. We're keeping it up to date, of course. We do releases quarterly at least, with full releases of firmwares. It is a very secure operating system. It is a very secure operating system. You can definitely lock this down to disable the user to do any modifications at all. Plus, the security in terms of, if we look at Meltdown and Spectre that was going on, the last month. IGEL was the first company to release a patch for Meltdown and Spectre. We did it 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think last week on Friday we released the patch. Yeah. We were the first thin client vendor that did this. Maybe I just jump in for another thing. So remember last year we had crack, the WPA thing. We released the fixed 4 days later. If you take a look to the list of other vendors, it is not fixed until today. And I think it's around about 6 months ago.
They are still investigating how to fix it. We already released the patches since a long time ago. I think that's, there is a really good argument. Because if you would be I'm not talking about IT management. I'm not talking about IT engineer. I'm talking about the board of the company. What is their concern? Is their concern to actually make the CPU in the device to be 2.4 gigahertz? No, they don't care. They want a stable, functional system. And how do you get that? You need to maintain the system. You need to give those systems the love and care they actually need to have. So that's what we are trying to help you to actually be able to provide to your end users. Going on from the UDC, we could talk forever about this.
Yeah, we love to talk about this.
But going on from the UDC, we have also the UD Pocket. Have you seen the small USB stick, which you can actually put into more or less whatever kind of x86-based device? The big trouble actually of using the UD Pocket, I should say the only trouble of using the UD Pocket, is to figure out how to boot the device on USB. When you have this covered, when you do the BIOS modification to boot on USB, like you would have to do if you need to recover an operating system or whatever it might be, as long as you have overcome that hurdle, you will definitely be able to use the UD Pocket in a perfectly sensible way. I know that the initial release of the UD Pocket could have been better, but there is always room for improvement, right? I should say the current release of UD Pocket and the IGEL operating system is really, really stable and really, really functional. It will not work on every hardware. That's how it is, because the manufacturers out there are pulling new stuff out there, which requires new drivers. It's kind of a tough game to keep up with those, but we're working on that one.
Yeah.
Quite soon, we will be releasing a new firmware for our devices with a new kernel, Linux kernel. Talking about Linux kernels feels like, well, it's scary.
I love to talk about Linux kernels.
We don't need to. But I mean, we handle the exchange of the Linux kernel on your devices without you do not need to do anything about exchanging the kernel. We'll do this for you. So the UD Pocket is a really, really exemplary, perfect solution, I think. I mean, the use cases might be a bit different between the UDC and the UD Pocket. I should say the UD Pocket will be the quick solution to get the device up and running. It might be a solution for your contractors, maybe. You don't want them to work in their own laptops when they are on campus. You want to have a controlled operating system which you allow to go into your network, UD Pocket. Let's move on. Let's go for the IGEL Thin Clients. I don't like the name Thin Clients, to be honest. I think it's an access device. You want to access something. You want to achieve a connection to a Citrix environment, Microsoft environment, Firefox browser, or whatever it might be. So I think it's an access device.
Yeah, I think yesterday in the Geek Speak we had a nice term, something like a secured, improved user experience device. I think that's a new name for the thin clients.
That's a quite long term, but okay, yeah. So we have a few different hardwares, of course, that we manufacture by ourselves. Here in Bremen, shipped everywhere around the world. Let's talk quickly about the different hardware versions we have and the use cases for those. We have the UD2 device, which is a task worker thing, a really slim device in terms of CPU and whatever. We have a UD3 device, which is the enterprise best thin client you can ever have, actually.
So maybe just to tell them what is possible with the UD3, it's our mid-class model. If you have the break, just go upstairs. Fredrik built a really, really cool demo there. It's a racing demo, and that's done with our UD3. So it's a really powerful device.
It is. We have the UD6 device, which is, I mean, the target is kind of the racing thing, or of course, mainly high advanced graphics for the UD6 device. It's the most powerful device. It also have an expansion slot, which is actually used quite a lot by customers that are really concerned of security. Might talk about military, might talk about security police, or might talk about something like that, where they need to have fiber adapters, network adapters in their device. Then we have the possibility to include this fiber adapter in the device. Continuing to the all-in-one clients, we have the UD9, which is the same as the UD6, but it's got hooked to a monitor, kind of. Yeah, it's an all-in-one device with touch and Wi-Fi and whatever you might need. So we have a lot of devices.
Before you go on, just a thing about zero clients. We should talk about zero clients, huh?
Yeah.
So we also have a product line. If you take a look to the website, it's called Zero Clients. And I think we just have to explain how IGEL is thinking about the topic Zero Clients. Because if you ask people what is a Zero Client, if I would interview you, I think a lot of people would tell me, oh yeah, that's a device without an operating system. No. Every device has an operating system. Even a Zero Client has an operating system. It wouldn't boot up without an operating system and a BIOS. The important thing is, what do you want to solve with a Zero Client? It's about, I want to just plug it into the network, don't configure anything, it should get the configuration, and it should just work. And that's why we think a little bit different. So if you take a Zero Client from IGEL, it's the same Linux, it's the same hardware, but it's a little bit limited, because we say, okay, you can buy a Zero Client only designed for Citrix, and then it's directly going for a Citrix connection if you configure it like this way. But you cannot go for an RDP session or for a VMware session. That's the most important difference that we have here. So don't wonder if they look the same. There's just a special idea about Zero Clients that we think.
Yep, thank you. So we have all the endpoints. We have thousands of endpoints. Maybe we bought some kind of XP devices, HP devices, or whatever it might be. We put them out we rolled them out in the organization. We started up using those devices, and it works perfectly fine. It was great. But then all of a sudden, there was kind of this patch that was needed for the Spectre meltdown stuff, or it might be something else. You need to redo your backend and change the connection protocol and whatever it might be. How do you do that without management? Without a really, really good and stable management, where you can actually have the control of everything. This is the UMS. This is a product that it is included in every device or license you buy from us. So you do not pay any extra. It is included. It's not for free, because free stuff is shit. Yeah? It's included in the devices, in the licenses. Using the UMS, you can control your whole environment. You can do it really, really easy. I have examples of customers using thousands of devices globally. One of my favorite customers, of course, that are somewhere here in the audience. They have the UMS residing within Stockholm. They have offices everywhere in the world. They have a team of, I think it's 3 persons or 4 persons, maintaining this environment, this global environment, on a day-to-day business. We do, of course, we maintain the firmwares of the devices using this engine, the heart of the IGEL family. I hope that everybody's using the UMS. Continuing, you will get a good explanation and view of the UMS by Torsten after us. We have the possibility to customize the IGEL operating system. If you go for a Windows-based device, yes, we sell Windows-based devices. You have the possibility to do partial updates. Like instead of refurbishing the whole device with a new operating system with the included patches, you just send the application package to the device. It will install on the device, and you're good to go. We have on the Linux side a function that is called custom partitions. And we also have the possibility, which gives you the same possibilities to transfer software to your devices. Yeah. Through the UMS, of course. The UMS will manage everything. And we also have the possibilities to do feature requests. So you as a customer might easily do a feature request. If there is something that you need that would make sense to actually be in the operating system, we have the feature request function.
Yeah. So maybe it's good to tell you, I've heard this from our CTO in this week. IGEL's story of software is a story of feature requests. Because it's not that our engineers are sitting somewhere and thinking, okay, this could be needed. It's most of the stuff, most of the cool stuff are requests from customers and partners. We need something like this. We need something like this. And then we think about, we talk to our development, and then it gets implemented. And there's a lot of, I'm now 3 years with IGEL, and I think I brought around about 10 features to the UMS and to the IGEL Linux. That's the cool way to work with IGEL. So if you see something that could be improved, if you need something, just let your engineers know, and we will take care.
I also been at IGEL for 3 years. We actually started the same day, me and Christian. Good stuff. Good to have you, friend. Moving forward. You might have thousands of devices, and you want to manage all those devices. We have the possibility to scale the environment by using HA, high availability package for the UMS. To add more UMSs in different locations, or I mean, spread the load at least in one or another way. It might also be reasons why. I mean, I have customers using 100 thin clients, but they are using HA because they have requirements within their company to have everything duplicated. This is a high availability. Apart from that, we can also extend the usability of the whole ecosystem by implementing the IMI, which is an API where you actually can hook another kind of management system into the UMS, or hook the UMS into this other kind of management system. A common example is the SCCM. You actually today do have a SCCM solution where you manage all your Windows devices, but you also want to manage all your thin clients, access devices, sorry, using the SCCM. But as we try to provide Linux devices at the first position, it can be quite a hassle to manage those using SCCM. So then you can use the IMI to connect the UMS to SCCM and manage the devices through SCCM. We have another product that is called the IGEL UMA. It will not extend the UMS. It is more of like you have the UMS, you have your thin clients, you also have a few unmanaged Windows devices. The target is small to medium business size. We do not want to provide, yeah, of course we would like to provide management.
So at the moment I have an enterprise project going on with
you. You do?
It's good.
That's good. Awesome. So it's an IGEL Windows agent which you can install on whatever kind of Windows-based device. Windows 7, Windows 10 at least. To manage those devices. Maybe an HP device with Windows, you still want to have the Windows operating system. You can then install the UMA and manage this device from the UMS. Last but not least, the IGEL AIT. It's called Asset Inventory Tracker. It's a functionality to actually pull all the information that the thin client have in regards of connected serial devices, in terms of, at this stage at least, USB and Bluetooth connected devices. So you will get a good list of what kind of devices you have. For healthcare, for instance, depending on what kind of information the USB device will give through the protocol, you might have end up with a big list of endpoint serial devices where you actually will know that, okay, all of those dictation, whatever kind dictation devices connected to my IGEL thin clients have a too old firmware, for instance. But this part has a up-to-date firmware, so I need to correct this. Just to give you an idea. And of course, to close the whole, I mean, IGEL has always been on-premise. But since about 1 year ago, we released the IGEL Cloud Gateway, which actually will make it possible to manage devices globally, wherever in the world. It doesn't matter if you have you don't need to have direct access to the device. The device can be in a hotel room, it can be in a cafe, it can be wherever, behind not firewalls, behind whatever stuff. We remove the hurdles of managing devices off-premise. During the day, you will hear a lot about those different topics, where we will start by looking at the UMS. So I would like to welcome Torsten Luker on the stage.
Give him a warm welcome.